Hello, this is Michael Rubin, and there's been a lot of discussion on Facebook lately about whether or not modes and positions are synonyms. And I argue they are not synonyms, and what I hope to accomplish by this video is to have a video that I can link someone to every time this issue comes up, so that I do not have to write a diatribe every time. This is a C harmonica. This is a G harmonica. I'm going to play Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do, starting on 4-blow on my C harp. I'm going to play the exact same holes on my G harp. Can you hear how it's still Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do? It still has the same melody, the same song. What is the difference? On the G harp, it is lower in pitch than on the C harp. Well, why is that? That's because on a C harp, on a standard C harp, the lowest note, one blow is here. But on the G standard harp, the lowest note is here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Every note in every hole on a G harp is 5 keyboard notes lower than the respective hole's note on a C harp. So why does this give us Do, Re, Mi? Well, it's because of how we hear music. Some people hear music in a different way. People with perfect pitch, if I play a B flat, they say, that's a B flat. They can tell that it's a B flat the same way you can look at the color red and see that it's red. Okay? And there are people who study something similar called immovable Do that kind of approach it in a similar way. That's unusual stuff. Most people are not like that. What we hear is relationships. 4-blow on a C harp is C. 4-draw on a C harp is D. My dog is barking. Can you see how D is 1, 2 keyboard notes higher than C? You could say, in the key of C, D is 2 keyboard notes higher, or plus 2, from the keynote. On a G harmonica, 4-blow is G, and 4-draw is A. Hey, look, 1, 2, it's again plus 2. When somebody says Do, Re, what they mean is keynote plus 2. And since the distance between the holes, as measured by how many keyboard notes there are between them, is always the same, 4-blow to 4-draw is always Do, Re, if 4-blow is Do. So that's why they call it a position, because my mouth is holding the same position. I'm blowing into the same holes. I'm drawing into the same holes. If I were to bend and overblow, it would be in the same locations. The song would be the same, but on the G harp, the song would be 5 keyboard notes lower for every note that I would play. Other than that, it's the same. And that's why they call it a position, because my mouth is holding the same position. Now, let's say I wanted to play Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do in the key of G on a C harp. I could do that. Remember, Do, Re, Mi starts on the keynote, G, and Re is 2 keyboard notes higher. 1, 2, A. So all I would need to do is get my C harp and locate G, 2 draw, and A, 3 draw double bend, and continue from there, and then I can play Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do while holding a C harmonica, but I'm in the key of G. And I'm not starting on 4-blow anymore. Now I'm starting on 2 draw. I am in another position. Here's my G harp. Now this has not been set up for overblows, but I'm going to move my mouth the same way and get the tune, except for maybe 5 overblow, which may give me some trouble. doesn't want to happen. Let's see if I've got an extra overblow G harp set up somewhere around here. Here. There. I set up some harps for overblows, some I don't. Okay, so because every note on the G harp is 5 keyboard notes lower than it is on the C harp, if 2 draw were G on the C harp, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 draw is D on the C harp. So playing in the key of G on a C harp compared to playing in the key of D on a G harp, that's a position. And it starts on with your root on 2 draw. Other roots are in 3 blow, 6 blow, and 9 blow. That's where the G notes are on a C harp, and therefore where the D notes are on a G harp. Okay, so there are 12 notes on a keyboard before it repeats. Let's look at them. So here's C. Notice that there's 3 black keys, and then 2 black keys, and then 3 black keys, and then 2 black keys. This note is to the left of the 2 black keys. Therefore, this note and this note are the same. Let's count how many notes there are before it repeats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 notes, therefore there are 12 positions. I'm going to get on my C harmonica and play do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do in 12 positions. Key of C. I started on 4 blow. Key of C sharp. I started on 4 draw bend. Key of D. Start on 4 draw. E flat. Started on 4 overblow. E. Started on 5 blow. F. Started on 5 draw. F sharp. Started on 5 overblow. G. Started on 6 blow. A flat. Started on 6 bend. A. Started on 6 draw. B flat. Started on 6 overblow. And B started on 7 draw. I could do the same scales an octave lower, or even, any note that I play that's in those scales. I've got somebody on Skype who is going crazy. Hold on, let's see if I can stop this. I'm gonna just... Okay. What's going on? So any note that I play that is in that scale, no matter where it is on the harmonica, is a note from that major scale, right? So I could even play notes that are lower than the lowest tonic. So, for example, 1 draw is D, 1 draw bend is C sharp, 1 draw bend is lower than the lowest D, but it's still a note that's in the D major scale. So there are 12 major scales, and I can play them all. That's because with blow notes, draw notes, and bent notes, I have every note that's on a keyboard for a 38-note range. And if I'm good with overblows, I can raise it even further to 39 notes or more. So, there are 12 positions, and positions have numbers. There is a numbering system for positions. It is based on 3 things. Number 1, the name of the harmonica. This is a harmonica named C. It's not in the key of C. I just showed you I could play this in any key. It's named C. Number 2, the root of a song, and this is a very important concept that I'm going to talk about that has a lot to do with why modes and positions are not synonymous. If I am playing a song in the key of C major, the root is C. If I am in the key of C minor, the root is C. If I am in a blues in the key of C, the root is C. If I'm playing Middle Eastern music in the key of C, the root is C. Here's some major music in the key of C. Here's some bluesy music in the key of C. Here's some minor music. All of them are in the key of C, or all of them have the root of C. This is a big idea. Because all of them had the root of C, they were all in first position, key of C on a C harp. We'll get more into how that was numbered in a minute. So what I'm saying is I can play C major in first position, C minor in first position, C blues in first position. The position has nothing to do with what style of music you're playing. That is a huge idea, and it's what I'm talking about. But let's continue. So, the third thing that matters, the circle of fifths. If you were to Google circle of fifths, you'd get a picture that looks like a map of the universe. It's so complex. It's confusing. That's because there are many applications for the circle of fifths, and the people who are drawing these maps are trying to show you an allusion to every one of those apps. It would be as if I handed George Washington a phone and said, and there's 1,000 apps, that's the greatest thing. I'm overwhelmed. But if you said, look, you can send a picture, take a picture, you can make a phone call, you can send a text. A month later, George comes back, phones are the greatest, because it's something he can understand. So when I draw out the circle of fifths, it looks like a clock. Why a clock? Because there were 12 notes on the keyboard. So there are 12 icons in the circle. So I put C in the midnight spot, G in the 1 o'clock spot, D in the 2 o'clock spot, and it just goes around. So why do they call it the circle of fifths? In the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do that begins on C, C, D, E, F, G, do, re, mi, fa, sol, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. G is the fifth note. As you move clockwise on the circle, the new note is the fifth note in the previous note's do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do scale. That's why they call it the circle of fifths. So, if I have a harmonica named C, and the band says, we're in the key of C, great, I could do that. Well, the harmonica playing friend says to you, what position are you in? Well, I'm going to look at the circle of fifths and find the name of the harp, C. I'm going to move clockwise until I get to the root of the key. Well, the root is C. Well, I could go all the way around the circle, but why? I'm already there. I'm on C. I'm just going to stay where I am. I'm going to count. C, 1. I am holding a harmonica named C. I am playing in the key of C. I am in first position. If I had a G harp, they say, we're in the key of G. The harp playing friend says, what position are you in? I look to the name of the harp on the circle, G. I move clockwise till I get to G. I'm already on G. I'll just stay here. I count. G, 1. I'm holding a harmonica named G. I'm in the key of G. I'm in first position. Now, the band says, we're in the key of G, and all I got is my C harp. I can still play. I can play in any key. Okay, I find the name of the harp, C. I move clockwise till I get to the root of the key, G. It's the very next one. I count. C, 1. G, 2. I'm holding a harmonica named C. I'm playing in the key of G, the root of the key is G, I'm in second position. Since there are 12 notes, there are 12 positions. On a C harp, C is first, G is second, D is third, F is 12th. On a G harp, G is first, D is second, A is third, C is 12th. This is what we mean by positions. It's a numbering system based on the root of the key compared to the name of the harmonica, as measured by how many times clockwise you had to move from the name of the harmonica to the root of the key. That's what positions mean. Now, you could argue it goes a little bit further and say that in the key of C, one draw bend, D flat on a C harp, is what's called the flat second note. In other words, you're in the key of C, do, re, D is the second note, D flat is 1/2 step lower than D, 1/2 step lower than the second note. The word flat means 1/2 step lower than, therefore one draw bend is the flat second. Always, no matter what harmonica you're on. First position, one draw bend is a flat second, one draw is D, that's a second. Right? So there are number values for every note in a scale. There are 12 notes in a scale, in a key. Every key has 12 notes, right? And every note can be numbered based on the alphabet letter in its name compared to the same alphabet letter in a note in the major scale that has the same root. That's pretty big stuff. You can look at my my old videos. Just go to michaelrubinharmonica.com. I got 103 videos on theory, right? But in any case, essentially, positions are a numbering system. Okay, so what are modes? Modes are scales. If I have a C major scale, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, that's a mode. It's a mode of itself. But if I take the same notes and start on D, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, same notes, completely different vibe. It's a mode of the C major scale. Since D is the second note in the C major scale, you could say it's the second mode of the C major scale. Why does it have a different vibe? Why doesn't it sound like do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do anymore? Because we're not hearing things in relation to C anymore. Now we're in the key of D. And in the key of D, to make it say do, re, mi, you need an F sharp and a C sharp. Those are black notes. 2 black notes. But here, if I use the notes from the C major scale, no black notes. D is still do, E is still re, but F is not mi, because in the key of D, mi is F sharp. So this you could actually call may, right? But in any case, the point is it's not the D major scale anymore, so it doesn't sound like do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. It's got its own flavor. Since there are 7 notes in do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, then it repeats do, but this no and this do are the same. 7 distinct notes. There are 7 modes of a C major scale. So there's one that starts on C, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. One that starts on D, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. One that starts on E, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E. There are 7 of them. These modes are called church modes. Now there are 12 major scales, 1 for every note on the keyboard. I showed you that. I played it on the harmonica. So if I like the feeling of the D mode of C major, but I wanted to play it in the key of G, now the root is G, I need to find the major scale that'll give me the same notes. So D is to C as G is to what? Take a look. I'll start on D and go lower. 1, 2. 2 keyboard notes lower will get me the major scale. So I'm on G. 1, 2 gets me to F. If I know the notes in the F major scale, F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F, and I start on G, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F, G, that's the second mode of the F major scale, the G mode. And it's going to give me the same feeling in the key of G that the D mode of C major is going to give me in the key of D. So, there are 7 modes, church modes. Now, modes go further than this, okay? You could arguably say that there are as many modes as there are notes in all of the scales in the world. But I'm talking about the church modes, the modes based on major scales. So there are 7 modes per major scale. There are 12 major scales. 12 times 7 is 84. There are 84 modes. Because I've got every note that a piano player has on my C harp, I can play all 84 of those modes. I'll do two sets of them. C Ionian, C Dorian, C Phrygian, C Lydian, C Mixolydian, C Aeolian, C Locrian. Now on to second. Every one of those was in first position because my root was C. Now I'll do it in the key of G. Second position. Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, Locrian. Yeah. I just played 14 different modes in 2 different positions. If modes and positions are the same, there should only be 12 modes because there's only 12 positions. But there's 84 modes, and I can play them all. Okay? So why? Why do people think modes and positions are the same? Because until you can bend or overblow, every note on a C harmonica is a white note on the keyboard. In the C major scale, every note is a white note. And, very important, there are no white notes that are not in the C major scale. So anytime you're playing a white note, you're playing a note that's in the C major scale. So if you pick up a C harmonica and you don't bend or overblow, anywhere you play is a note in the C major scale. Or it's a note that is in one of the modes of the C major scale. D Dorian, E Phrygian, F Lydian, G Mixolydian, A Aeolian, B Locrian. If somebody said, let's play a song in a style of music that G Mixolydian would work, for example, blues in the key of G, I could pick up my C harp, don't bend, and everything would work. That was G Mixolydian. I didn't bend at all. I was in second position, and I was playing the G Mixolydian scale. That's why they think it's related, that it's synonymous. But the problem is, there's 7 modes, but there's 12 positions. What happened to the other 5 positions? They're not modal, right? If I'm in 11th position, I'm in B flat on a C harmonica. There's no mode of the C major scale that's got a B flat in it because they're all white notes. So that's not being modal to the C major scale. As soon as you're in 11th position, you step away from modes. You're still in a position, you're in 11th position, but you're not using a mode anymore. Not the way that these misinformed people think you're using a mode. So then, let's say you're mostly using the mode. I'm in 2nd position. I'm using the G Mixolydian mode. Okay. You mean you're not bending? No, I'm bending. What? Yeah, I'm bending, and when I bend, I get white notes. Oh, that's true. There are 3 white notes when you bend. 2 double bend is F. 3 double bend is A. 10 blow single bend is B. If all I did was play those bent notes, I am playing G Mixolydian in 2nd position on a C harp. That's true. But let's say I bent 4 draw. You ever bend 4 draw when you're playing blues? If you have, you're not in 2nd position Mixolydian because 4 draw bend is D flat. D flat is a black key. When you play a black key, you have stepped away from the modes of the C major scale because every note in a mode in the C major scale is a white key. So you could be mostly playing Mixolydian, but the moment you played that 4 draw bend, you are no longer playing Mixolydian, but you're still playing in 2nd position because you're in the key of G on a C harmonica. Look to the name of the harmonica on the circle of fifths, C. Move clockwise till you get to the root of the key, G. Count, C, 1, 2. You're in 2nd position holding a harmonica named C, playing in the key of G. And you just played a note that wasn't in the G Mixolydian scale. Therefore, modes and positions are not synonymous. See ya.